Here I'd like to play you a clip from a movie that was released about Yelp. I'd also like to give you a little bit of the story as to what happened, why it is I'm bringing it up 4 years later as this movie just came out, and I'd also like to play you a call recording of a phone call that I got from a law firm that I did a reverse lookup on the caller ID. I Googled it, and it was the number for Sperber, Denenberg, and Kahn right after this happened to me.
We fix Apple products, primarily laptops. My business focuses on the products that other businesses and Apple don't want to fix. The first sales call that I got, they did what they usually do, which is flatter you for what you're presently doing and then try to talk about the benefits. This just went on and on and on, and eventually I said, listen, I have a friend who pays almost $2,000 a month for your advertising, and he has not gotten increased business due to Yelp. Then I get an email, and it says, I don't understand why you think Yelp isn't helping your friend's business. Here are his back-end stats. So because I claim to be friends with somebody, you now see fit to send me all their personal statistics so I can know how many deals they sold, I can see how many views he had, I can see how many calls to action he had. It's not information that I should be able to see. So I uploaded a video about it.
Just in case you can't see, it says, Hey Lewis, here is the business Sonny has seen from us since he began to advertise. I am a little confused to why you think this isn't working for him. Please let me know when you can speak for a few minutes about this. Best, Erica. When you give away confidential customer information, why would I ever feel inclined to be your client?
I upload that video, and a few days later she's fired. I had no idea that this woman was fired until I received a phone call.
I want to congratulate you. You put a little stuff on the internet last night about Yelp. You ruined a 23-year-old's life. You got her fired. You know what happens to people that are shitbags like you? Bad karma.
Bad karma.
Bad karma. God will pay you back, you piece of shit.
Call for Christmas is fine.
I thought it was a joke. That's why I said call for Christmas is fine. And that's when I decided, let me Google this phone number. And that's when I realized that that person works for a law firm called Sperber, Denenberg, and Kahn PC. And I said, oh, you've got to be kidding me. I really wasn't expecting Yelp stuff to go this far. So then I did a second video.
The name of that salesperson that was contacting me, I believe, was Erica Sperber. I wind up getting these calls calling me a shitbag and God is going to get you back and blah, blah, blah from members of that person's family, and they were actually calling me from their work telephone.
After that video is when I realized I had a negative review on my page. The fake review was left by somebody who said that we took their laptop, we didn't have the part to fix it, we gave it back to them in pieces, far worse than it was, and that was that. The first fishy part of this was that we have 600 parts for that specific machine. The machine that was mentioned is you literally are tripping walking through the store because I bought 600 of that part. Second thing that was fishy was that your profile says that you are in, I believe, Chicago, which is very, very far away from New York. So I looked this user up on Yelp and I see that they're friends with Erica Sperber.
This is my Yelp salesperson. This is Jordan K. This is Erica's friend. This is the person that left the bad review at my local business. So what happened here is simple. I told the Yelp salesperson I don't want to pay for advertising. I told them why I didn't want to pay for advertising. I hung up, and when they refused to stop contacting me, I posted a video about it. That person decided to tell their friends that are Yelp leaders, hey, you should leave bogus bad reviews on this guy's page. And then bogus bad reviews were left on my page. That is extortion.
In spite of the fact that the documentary came out, and in spite of the fact that this issue was publicized 4 years ago, I don't think the company involved has been properly punished for it socially or legally, and that company is Yelp. So, to make a long story short, in 2009, I had started my business, started my review sites and everything, and I had been getting calls from Yelp for many, many years leading up until 2015. I had received many calls from Yelp, and in spite of the fact that I showed no interest and politely asked to be put on a do not call list because I did not want to be telemarketed to, they kept on calling me. At some point in 2012, right after I said no, I received a 1-star review that was very clearly fake. They said they walked into the store and they were ignored. Nobody spoke to them for 20 minutes, and then they walked out huffing and puffing. This is obviously completely untrue for the fact that if you've seen the front of my store, it is most likely the front of my store is smaller than your shower. It's impossible, even if we are the rudest people on earth, to not acknowledge that you are there because of the size of the space. Further, I was there the day that this supposed incident occurred. I was there the entire time. I would have seen that individual. I thought it was fairly strange that the profile picture of that individual is not somebody that had walked into the store after reviewing the security camera footage. And above all, it happened a day after I got a call from Yelp. And I still brushed it off as just some maybe salty New York person that just needed to let off some steam that day. Now, I kept getting calls like this, and it aggravated me. And at some point in 2015, I got a call from somebody, and they had the audacity to tell me about how well one of my friends was doing with Yelp advertising, which I found strange because they actually started emailing me stats from the back end of that individual who was my friend. His name is Sonny. He has a store called Simple Mac. He came to Practical Board Repair School. Hell, he worked for me in 2013. I had a good rapport with him, and she was showing me his back end stats. He was paying over $2,000 a month to Yelp and had no privacy. That the salespeople there would just show his information willy-nilly. And I thought that this was wrong, and I also thought it was wrong that they were continuously calling me 5-6 years after I said stop calling me. And I had talked about this online. I had a very small following at the time, maybe like around 8,000 subscribers or so. But I posted my video on this and why I thought it was wrong, and this individual got in trouble. Now, right after I posted that video and right after that phone call, I got another 1-star review. And this 1-star review was even fishier than the last 1-star review. This 1-star review was for somebody from Illinois. That person from Illinois said that they had walked into the store, and after walking into the store, we did not fix their machine. We kept the machine for 2 weeks, and then we gave it back to them in pieces because we didn't have the part in stock. I found this strange because at the time, I had actually purchased 200 of that piece when I didn't need 200 of that piece. So I had overstock, and I was liquidating it at a discount to anybody who would walk in. We would offer same-day service. We'd discount it just to get those parts out of the store. So I thought that was strange. So I dug a little bit deeper, and then I realized that individual's name was not in our ticket system. Then I dug even deeper than that and realized that individual was friends on several social media platforms, from Google to Yelp, and on LinkedIn, those individuals were actually in the same graduating class. They were friends. So it started to make sense that the salesperson that I got in trouble, who I did not want to buy advertising from, may just tell their friend, I called this person today and they didn't want to buy ads and blah, blah, blah. And then I wind up with this 1-star false review. So this really irked me because I used to think that when people on Facebook forums or message forums would say, I got a call from Yelp and then afterwards I started getting bad reviews, that they were wrong. Typically, the reason I thought this was true was because the people who were posting that they started getting bad reviews on Yelp after refusing to pay for advertising were often the people who were using really bad iPhone screens. They were the people buying the cheap junk. They were the people who offered slow service at high prices and did not really offer the customer a great deal. And I would look at this and think, seems like a kind of some sort of conspiratorial thinking. Maybe it's not that you're getting screwed by the man. Maybe it's that you're offering a knockoff iPhone screen that looks really bad for $179 with some crappy 30-day warranty that's getting you your 1-star reviews. And it was one of those cases where I have to admit that I was wrong and eat my humble pie and apologize. So I apologize to those individuals who I denigrated or thought were incorrect, because you were correct. And it wasn't until that happened to me and I got to actually experience it all the way through and do my own investigative work to find out that the person who left me a 1-star review was a personal friend who was in the graduating class of the salesperson at Yelp that I realized that something was funny here. Now, that person who had left that fake 1-star review was a Yelp eliter themselves. And Yelp Elite reviews, as you'll find out, they're virtually impossible to remove. They could stay inflammatory stuff. They could just not have actually come to your store. But Yelp Elite reviews never get filtered. There's lots of reviews that get filtered by the Yelp system, and their algorithm, but it's not the reviews that are from Yelp leaders. Those stick. Imagine my surprise when I brought all of this up to Yelp, and quickly, that individual's account was deleted entirely. And I asked for a follow-up as to what was going on there, what they found, and I never heard back from Yelp. Kaylee Milliken did a documentary called $1 Billion Bully, where she spoke to many people who've had this issue. She traveled around the country filming people who've had similar stories. And in 2015, she filmed me and my story. And I'd like to show you what it is that she put out. If you'd like, you could rent or buy the movie on YouTube, but here I took a clip after I bought the movie of just a part of my interview so that you could see. It is, I typically shy away from calling something a documentary when it's got the scary strings music and all the stuff in the background. I tend to not call it a documentary if you're using that type of music to try to manipulate my emotions or how I feel. And it's not really information so much as propaganda at that point. But I am giving you that caveat. I am telling you my full experience, my bias, the movie's bias, so that you can decide for yourself what you want to believe. So this is an issue that really bothers me for a number of reasons. But the number one reason is that this industry has a low barrier to entry. This is an industry where somebody like me can enter with $268 in their back pocket and years later have 12 employees, no debt, 12 employees, and do well for themselves, make a name for themselves, make people in the community happy, make a living. But that is all based on reputation. Reputation is everything, especially when you're starting out. Now, even in 2015, I was at the point where I was established enough to where I didn't really have to care that much about 1 or 2 or even 10 bad Yelp reviews because of the word of mouth that had been built from 2008 to that time. It's 7 years of word of mouth of doing good business. But when I was new in the business, if I had fake 1-star reviews because someone was salty that I didn't want to pay them, that would have sunk my ship. I would have been screwed. I would have been back to putting price tags on basketballs at Modell's Sporting Goods. Reputation is that important in this business. The videos on how to repair boards, everything that I've worked for the past 10 years, would not be here if somebody pulled the kind of crap on me in 2008 that they tried to pull on me in 2015. It is that important. And while even at that point, I wasn't at a place where it mattered so much to me, I knew it would matter very much to the individuals who were up and coming in the business, who were new to the business, who wanted to be able to follow in the footsteps of success of the people who've been able to establish a name for themselves and make a career for themselves. I knew it would hurt those people. And even though I knew it would make myself look bad if I filmed these videos where I was clearly angry, clearly agitated, very pissed off in a personal way because somebody had fucked with my reputation and fucked with my staff's ability to make money for themselves and feed their families. I had staff at the time. I had 2 people working here that had kids whose salaries could have been seriously impacted by this type of smear campaign by salty salespeople just because I didn't want to buy your fucking advertising. But I was very clearly angry, agitated, and I did not make myself look good, and I probably hurt my own image by putting up the camera and deciding I'm going to film what's going on right now while I'm still mad rather than just letting it, just go off my shoulder. But I did that because I knew that there were other people out there who, if this information did not get out there, may wind up getting screwed in the same manner that I was screwed. And it bothered me. So you can watch these videos. I will have them up above. You can watch those videos and see for yourself what went on. Again, I honestly watched those videos and I just want to smack 2015 Lewis because I wouldn't even want to listen to this guy. He's so salty. But the movie does a very good job of explaining all this stuff. And I wanted to reiterate it because because I don't think that Yelp has paid the social or legal cost for the practices that have been employed at their business and for the people that they've likely hurt that were not in the position to defend themselves. So at the time, I had a YouTube channel with maybe 8,000 subscribers. Even though 8,000 subscribers is not a lot of people, 8,000 to 12,000 subscribers is still enough that if something terrible happens to me, I can speak. I can speak to a group of people that's larger than my high school about it, and it will get noticed. But for the average individual, that will get entirely erased. They will just be down the memory hole. Their business will close. Nobody will remember who they are. Nobody will care. And that makes me sick. But Yelp does not seem to have paid a societal, social, or legal price for the practices that they've had. So even though this happened to me 4 years ago, I feel like it's relevant to bring up again because I don't think that Yelp, the company themselves, to be clear, I blame Yelp, the company. I don't think that Yelp, the business, has paid the social or legal price for their business model being based on extorting small business owners. Above all, I don't want what they attempted to do to me to happen to individuals who cannot defend themselves. People who have just started their business, who don't have a following, who don't have a reputation, who don't have a word of mouth, who are doing everything they can up until 1 or 3 in the morning to ensure that every customer is satisfied, because even one star review before they've developed their reputation will sink them.
How can I help you?
Is this Rossman?
Yes, what can we do for you?
I want to congratulate you. You put a little stuff on the internet last night about Yelp. You ruined a 23-year-old's life. You got her fired. You know what happens to people that are shitbags like you? Bad karma.
Bad karma.
Bad karma. God will pay you back, you piece of shit.
Call for Christmas is fine. I can